Yeah, so the property damage side is essentially much more user friendly for individuals because the value of the vehicle is kind of the value of the vehicle. We'll talk about how it's not that simple most of the time, but truly, uh, for most claims, you don't need an attorney to handle a property damage vehicle. The largest reason for that is uh, most attorneys like myself operate on a contingency fee, and if we're taking one third of the value of the vehicle, that leaves the individual in quite a hole. Um, and so it doesn't make a lot of sense, just the economics of the situation. It doesn't make sense to hire an attorney. However, there are a couple things to note. So the once you file a claim with your insurance company, which usually starts with a phone call, each insurance company has different intake processes. Um, Sometimes it's online, sometimes it's on the phone. Just depends on the insurance company you have. Once that claim is started, they'll assign an adjuster who will begin the valuation process of the vehicle. Again, depends on the insurance company. Sometimes they'll want pictures submitted, sometimes they'll send somebody out. Some of the newer companies are perfectly content for you to just send pictures and then they'll run an estimate based on that. They will assess whether your vehicle is should be repaired or if it's totaled. And the law behind that is uh, you get, and it, in the other party that's responsible for damaging your vehicle needs to pay the replacement cost or the repair value of repair, whichever is less. So that's what people are referring to when they say, is it totaled or is it not? Meaning, will it cost more to fix it than to replace it? And so the insurance company will make that call uh, based on comparable vehicles and the price to fix it. Now you don't have to go with their opinion. You know, if it's on the edge and you think you can find a place to repair it, you are free to do that, and then you'll just have to argue with the insurance company a little bit about that. But most of the time, people are pretty happy if the car's totaled because they get the replacement value of the vehicle they were driving. The exception is uh, because of the fast depreciation of vehicles, oftentimes the loan amount is more than the replacement cost of the vehicle at the time. And that is often tough news for individuals. However, um, if you do repair the vehicle, there's also something called diminution in value that can come into play. A vehicle's value is diminished uh, when it's in an accident. And and so we say a fancy legal word like diminution of value, but all we're saying is the value's less. Uh, so so that's the first thing is, are we going to replace the vehicle or are we going to repair the vehicle? It seems most of the claims that we see, and Matt, you as a paralegal that works around these cases, you maybe would agree with me. Most vehicles are replaced these days more than repaired, unless it's just a fender bender.
Hmm.
And maybe that's just the nature of the cases that come to us.
Hmm.
Um, but if the vehicle's repaired, you agree on a shop, they repair it, the insurance company pays that, and then you should say, what about diminution in value? That would be that tip on that side. And the insurance company is, is some version of, oh, shucks, we didn't know you knew about that. And then they'll negotiate it. The law isn't that well settled in some states. In Kansas, there's a great case on point saying, yeah, diminution in value is a thing.
Hmm.
So that's that side of it. On the replacement value side, there's a little more uh, maybe shenanigans, you would say, with the insurance company. They will find comparable vehicles and they'll average those and assign a value to pay you for the replacement of your vehicle. So that is where the rub is. You want to look at those comparable vehicles. You want to ask for them because sometimes they won't give them to you. Ask for uh, those comparables and see if they're really comparable because sometimes they're not that close. We've seen some when have had to get involved where it's not the same category of vehicle, but it just sounds similar. And so you can push back and say, that's not a comparable vehicle. And now with the internet, God, I sound old, right? There's this new thing called the internet, kids. Good golly, it can help you out. But you could go on a site like Car Guru and look up 30 vehicles that are identical uh, across the country to your vehicle. And that's the tool you use to push back on the comparable vehicles that they found. And not every insurance company will be wrong in their first, but it's something you should check. And then you send those to the adjuster and say, no, you should be paying me 2,000 more than that. And that is something that's what I would do if I were in that situation. That's what we've done for clients when they're stuck, and that's what I tell all of my clients who are in have a personal injury case is it doesn't make sense for you to hire me for the property damage at this point, but if you get stuck, let me know.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. So that is probably everything I would say you need to know about those claims. But if you ever have that situation and have a question, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to talk through it.
Yeah. On some of the ones I've seen, I think you mentioned 30 comparables, and I mean that's a lot. That might be
I would
tough, particularly
that would
depending
be a lot.
on the model. But I will say, the insurance company will find any reason they can to dismiss the comparables that you present. So having as many as you can get, as many as you can find, um, gives you a better chance for some of those sort of being obviously better um, comparables to use than what the insurance company grabbed. And one of the things they consider a lot is where the vehicle is, because different parts of the country have different levels of inflation for vehicles. And so they're paying a lot of attention to those vehicles that are being sold near the claimant. The other thing that I've noticed in these claims that's really odd is the insurance company will also devalue their claim based on what they're considering to be a markup um, from the seller. Um, I forget, yeah, like the dealership markup, and then they'll reduce the value of their claim based on that. I've never gotten them to really budge off that before.
Yeah, and my view is that's just pure insurance company stinginess. I mean, I do not believe they would win that in court. There's no legal justification to that. It's just kind of a inward policy where they think, well, we can argue that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually a small enough amount of money that it's not worth litigating over. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point, uh, that's what class actions are for. So maybe
Wow, what a way to end that conversation.
we're coming for you. It's it. I truly don't think that's a. I haven't researched this recently, but I've never come across a law that would allow them to reduce for that.
Mhm,
The law says replacement cost. So
mhm.
what is that
Right.
cost? Well, the dealership profit is part of the cost of buying a vehicle. I mean,
Yeah.
it just is. So there's no preference for a private sale versus a dealership sale
Mhm.
under the law.
Yeah. That's a great point. Um, and then the other thing to look for again is different cars have different um, features that are added onto the vehicle. particularly if you've had a lot of customizable things that you've done to the vehicle over the life of the vehicle. Making sure those are noted in the claim process is a big deal.
Right.
Yeah, but we've never seen them insurance companies move a lot on these.
They don't like to. Yeah, they don't like to spend time on it. And yeah, the movement is usually not a great deal.
Mhm.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is it's often not litigated because you're talking about a difference of $1,000 to $2,000, and if you file a lawsuit, you're going to
Mhm.
spend that to get that. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully that helps you all with navigating some property damage claims in the future. Um, we do also have a PDF that we put together, so you can reach out to the firm if you're interested, and we can get that to you. That can help you navigate some of those claims.